Welcome back to the party. It's me, Britt Reacts, and today we're going to react to part 2 of the father versus son fight. This is Josh Wolf. Josh Wolf. Let's see what he has to say.
But he did try to fight me. So I'm walking into the kitchen, he's walking out, and he leans his shoulder into me. And I go, did you just lean your shoulder into me? And he goes, maybe you should watch where you're going. And I started to laugh. I go, I'm sorry. Are you starting to fight with me? And he goes, yeah, not that it's gonna be much of a fight. And I was like, all right, man, front lawn right now, let's go. And he goes, no, not now, like 3 weeks. I'm like, 3? Who are you, fucking Rocky? What do you mean 3 weeks? You gotta go turn some tires over and shit? Like what? He goes, I gotta go look up some videos online. I'm like, oh, okay. Now listen.
Okay, so we watched part 1, and he told a story about his brother literally insinuating a fight with his dad, and the dad, like, just laid him out. Now I think we're back on his son trying to fight him, and I'm still just trying to understand when and where and why a son would think fighting his father was ever a good idea. I also love his impression of his son. He just sounds so, like, dopey.
Outwardly, when he said 3 weeks, I was mocking him. But on the inside, when he said 3 weeks, I was like, phew. Because I'm at an age where I pull muscles. And I pull muscles doing shit that I shouldn't pull a muscle doing.
I know that's right.
Like, not too long ago, I pulled a muscle in my right shoulder. Wiping my ass. I went back too quick and I didn't tuck my core. It's all core nowadays. I don't fucking know. But I went back too quick and all my wife heard when she walked by the door was, oh no! Listen, guys, if I get a stretch before I shit, you can kill me tonight. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you walk into the bathroom later and I'm like this and you're like, what are you doing, man? I'm getting ready to poop. Like, you can, I don't need to come out of the bathroom. You can kill me in there. Now, here's the deal. By the way, you couldn't do what my dad did now.
Right.
This is definitely
Right.
something that you could not get away with now.
Okay.
We have raised a different generation of kids. You guys know that, right? We have raised a generation of spoiled, entitled pussies. You understand that, right?
He's not wrong. I don't think I've gotten to that point yet, but my husband definitely has, and I definitely think if you were any kind of, like, serious athlete in any way, your cracks, snap, crackle, popping, aching, breaking all over the place in your mid-30s and beyond. Because, baby, when I tell you, lifting a grocery bag will send my back into weeks of turmoil. And I also agree with him. I call them the new kids. This new generation, they are so spoiled and entitled, but they're also, like, punks. Like, I mean, like, not like a thug type punk. They're, like, literally the scariest children. Like, you can't do it. If you blow at them, they hit you with, like, some type of trauma response, or, you know, they cry. I don't know. It's like, what happened?
Now, we can clap all you want, but you know whose fault it is? Yeah, they didn't raise themselves, guys. It's our fault. And we've coddled them to the point that it's ridiculous. Do you know that in a lot of states in our great country, they've outlawed dodgeball?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Yep.
Because they say it humiliates the children. Round of applause. By the way, that's ironically why we played the fucking game to begin with. Right? I was like, who are we making?
He's so right. I took my daughter, she's 9, to a birthday party at Sky Zone, one of those places. And they had dodgeball in one of the, like, trampoline sections, but it was monitored. It was literally regulated by one of the employees, which, because it's open for all ages, I think is a good thing. But, like, the kids were like, we don't get to play dodgeball at school. And I was like, excuse me? Y'all don't get to play, like, summer camp, PE, dodgeball was, like, the game. And then, you know, they switched it over to the softballs. When you used to have the boing ball, baby, I had one time my thumb fold all the way back. Like, touched this all the way down here. Yep. And look at me now. Thriving. Thriving.
Right? I was like, who are we making cry today, right? Round of applause, people who remember playing dodgeball. Round of applause. Right. And if I said after the show, we're going to clear out the tables and play some dodgeball, who would play some dodgeball? Because we all have that shared experience, right? Everybody in here remembers what that red rubber tastes like on your lips, right? And your eyes are watering, your nose starts to run, you try to get off the court. 9 other balls hit you, and you're like, I'm out already! Shit, fuck, I am out! They'll never have that experience, will they? So I called my dad on the phone, because I know my son wants to fight me. I call him on the phone, and I'm like, hey man, we all fought you, right? He goes, yeah. And I said, I seem to remember you being a little more violent than you needed to be. And he said, no, yeah, you remember correctly. And I said, why? And he goes, listen, man, he wants to win, right? I said, yeah. He said, you have to win. You have to win. Because if you don't win, the power changes at your house. And then you try telling him to take out the trash tomorrow. He's gonna slap you in the face and be like, you take the trash out, bitch. Don't make me fuck you up again. And I was like, oh my God. He said, this is how... And then he said something, by the way, that I will never forget.
Oh my
I go, I have to
Lord.
win? He said, Josh, even if somebody ends up calling the police, you have to win. And I was like, oh.
Not nowadays.
Now listen, I'm not a violent dude. My dad was more adept at that. And now I did have 3 older brothers, so I am really good at mental torture. So I was like, that's kind of where I'll lean on. So I hang up the phone, and I turn around, and my wife is there. And she looks right at me. She goes, are you fighting Jacob?
Jacob?
And I said, no, I'm not gonna fight him. It's gonna be something, we're gonna do something in the front lawn, but it's not gonna be like a fight. And she said, why don't you just tell him that you're the grown-up and he's the kid, and that's it?
Why?
He does what you say. And I'm like, nah. I said, that's not gonna work. And she said, why? I said, I'm not sure if you were there, but he basically slapped me in the face with his dick in the kitchen. Like, there's only one
So it doesn't matter the dynamic. It's just male and male. It doesn't matter the age difference, the authority, like father-son relationship. This is just 2 men having a pissing contest. Understood. Heard ya. Got it.
Like, there's only one response. She goes, I don't like it. I said, I'm not saying it's the right response. I'm just saying it's the only one that I know, And she said, I don't think this is a good idea. And then I maybe got a little too cocky. And I said, I'll let you know when I have a bad idea. And she was like, oh, okay. Oh. You're gonna let me know? And I said, yeah. And she goes, oh, okay. So I know I gotta start torturing my son, right? I call my brother on the phone because I'm like, you guys tortured me endlessly. What should I do? And he said, what do you mean? All you talked about growing up was, I wish I had a little brother so I could do to him what you guys did to me.
So you're gonna beat up your
He goes,
son?
Now is your chance. Nobody gets to go back and do that. And I was like, you're right. This is quite an opportunity. And he said, yeah, man. Do you want me to send you over the list? And I go, what list? He goes, oh, the list of things that we had that we used to do to you.
That's criminal behavior. That's
And I said,
unacceptable.
why do you still have the list? And he was like, you never know, do you? And I said, no. So he sends the list over, right? And I'm looking at it, and he said, just remember, the most important thing is to start small and go up from there. So this all started on a Sunday. Now listen, he wants 3 weeks.
Am I gonna get to hear about the list in part 3 or 4? Because now I'm locked in. We're watching I think it's 4 parts. I want the list. I need the list.
So this all started on a Sunday. Now listen, he wants 3 weeks. I don't want to give him a full 3 weeks. I want to get him so mad, my son, that he wants to fight at the end of the week. I need to get him so mad because that's the only chance I have of beating him, right?
Right.
So my brother's like, start slow. I go, okay. So Sunday night when my son is sleeping, I took all of his underwear out of his drawer. And I replaced it with panties with the days of the week on it.
It's a mental game.
So
The
when he woke up the
longevity.
next morning, I'm cooking breakfast, and I hear from the other room, what? What is this? Hey, these aren't my underwear! These aren't my underwear! And I just yelled back, hey, just put your Mondays on, sunshine, and come on out for some breakfast.
My goddaughter is here right now spending some time with us, and she had a situation last year that her parents decided she needed to be, rightfully punished for, and they were 100% right. And she just told me today in the car that they made her, she goes to a public school. They made her wear a uniform for 2 weeks and like shoes from Walmart. And if you know her, she's like a big sneaker geek. Like she loves all the like name brand shoes. So this was a big deal for her. Like, so I asked, I said, so are we still up to, what we were up to last year? She said, oh no, I learned my lesson. I'm like, that's how you get them. It's a mind thing. It's the longevity of something that will stick with her more than you taking her phone. This is that same kind of energy. This is my type of parenting right here. Like, I'm going to break you down mentally before I ever put my hands on you. You know what I mean? Like, this is genius. And it's hilarious. Like, what?
Back, hey, just put your Mondays on, sunshine, and come on out for some breakfast. And he was like, I'm gonna fight you so hard! And I was like, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that. I hope you're not fighting me hard.
I'm so unbelievably invested in this story now. I can't wait for part 3. Come back for it. If you want to see it this week, it'll be here. Go and have the day you deserve. Bye.